Goodbye 2023.
Hello 2024.
Let's see what's in store. Hey, welcome to the Wanderlust Woman podcast, hosted by Noah
And Vanessa.
We're a married couple who loves traveling the world and sharing all those experiences with you.
Whether it's good or bad.
So now let's jump right into today's episode. Alright, so Happy New Year everybody. 2024 is already upon us, so I think it's about time we do a little bit of a recap on 2023, just to give you an idea of how our year ended and how we want to proceed this coming year, 2024. But before we do that, let's kind of set the stage for how 2022 led to 2023. Because 2022 was a freaking amazing year. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, which of course we'll put all this into context later. But in 2022, we visited 9 countries, and we capped it off with an amazing trip in Asia, which was Vanessa's first time.
Yeah.
And we visited, was it 5 countries in Asia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of time away from home, our biggest trip together, away from like friends and family, and definitely our most expensive trip yet, because we spent a lot of money between flights and all that stuff. So anyways, we ended 2022 coming back home, broke, and with something new, which is actually an apartment in our hometown, because in 2022, we were actually living with family for the year to make travel possible. Because travel is awesome, it's amazing, it does cost a lot of money, and there's a lot of things people don't talk about, which might like sacrifices or less glorious moments, such as living with your parents in your 20s, which we're very glad that was not the case in 2023. Because in 2023, we're living in our own apartment, which of course was more money, meaning we could not travel as much in 2023, which as you'll start to see, we did not visit as many places as we typically might want to this year. But where was our first trip, Vanessa? Where did we go?
Well, I think that when we started 2023, we were kind of like, okay, it's been a couple months. Like we need to get out of Michigan. We need warmer weather.
Especially in the winter, yeah.
Yeah, because our winters here are brutal. So we had some friends that were gracious enough to host us in Hawaii for 9 days.
Maybe it was 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks.
It was quite 2 weeks.
It was between 1 and 2 weeks. Either closer to 14 or closer to 9, maybe. But let's just say a week and a half to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were super excited because we went to Hawaii the year before for our honeymoon.
Yeah.
And then this was actually, it timed well for us to be there for our anniversary.
That's right.
Our first year anniversary.
Yeah, we were there for our first year of marriage anniversary. And like Vanessa said, we were there for a honeymoon, and it was totally magical. It was arguably, like, one thing that happens when you travel is people always ask you, what's your favorite place? And it's like an impossible question to answer. But in our hearts, it was always Hawaii that year.
Yeah, I don't know.
That year. I'm kidding. Okay.
Something about Hawaii, our first time, it was just so, I don't know, like, it just made me, I don't know, it was like the beach life, and
it was magical.
It was.
It was like a dream world.
Yeah, it was like the perfect weather, the perfect everything, I think. Well,
yeah.
There was a few things that weren't so perfect.
Well, the weather was perfect, pretty much. I think I was like, the closest to perfect weather.
I think it was like the first place where we really felt like we could live there.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the lifestyle's so great. We're able to hike, go to beaches, adventure, make friends easily.
Good food.
Yeah, we're seeing good. The food was good. I think the food overall was maybe like one of the weaker parts of Hawaii compared to other countries we traveled to. Like Mexico, the food was bad.
Okay, yeah, but
I mean, it was still really good. But
yeah.
If I were to describe Hawaii to people, I would definitely talk about like the nature,
yeah.
the hiking, the adventures, the beauty, more than anything else.
Yeah.
And the lifestyle.
Yeah.
So.
But
yeah.
We were super excited to go back, and it was only possible because we were being hosted, because we were pretty drained at that point.
Yeah, we're still recouping some finances. 'Cause let's say we didn't go on the streets, but we were pretty close to zero. Because when we moved back home, we had to, not only we had to worry about like paying rent, but a lot of times you have to pay like security deposit, like 2 months rent, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is getting real close.
Yeah, and our first apartment that we had, it was only a 3-month lease.
Yeah.
So it was priced so much higher than what it would have been month by month.
Yeah.
They got us. They got us good.
But we were running out of time and we were desperate.
Yeah.
So we sucked it up. And
in
hindsight, it was a good decision.
Yeah.
But maybe not in hindsight too.
Yeah.
But anyway, Hawaii, yeah.
So the second time that we went, we somehow brought the cold weather from Michigan with us to Hawaii.
Or at least the rain.
Yeah. So it was very cloudy every day. raining, I think, every single day.
Yeah, every single day.
Yeah.
Except for maybe one day, but it was still like maybe like a small shower, like a tropical shower.
Yeah.
But there's not like one good beach day.
No. I never went in the water.
I did, but
Yeah. He forced it.
no, there's a.
I have to be hot to want to go.
Yeah, I'm really happy I went in the water. This is a really beautiful beach on the west side of Hawaii, and we met some like local people. And it was like one of the few newer places, or new places for us, I should say, that we went to for this trip in Hawaii. And it had a really gorgeous beach, and it was sunny. And I'm like, this is the first sunny day I've been at the beach. It's a new place, gorgeous, about to be sunset.
Yeah.
I'm hopping in.
Yeah.
So glad I did.
Well, you had your bathing suit on.
Yeah, I
So it
changed.
was
to
really
a bathing
convenient
suit.
for him to just.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway.
But anyway, I think we recreated a lot of the memories that we did the first time, but with worse conditions. So it kind of put a damper on Hawaii.
Yeah.
But we also made some like new memories. But it didn't feel like Hawaii. It felt more like PNW type of vibes.
Definitely.
Which was cool, but not what we were hoping for.
And PNW just references Pacific Northwest. So that's like Portland, or Oregon and Washington. Kind of like the gray, gloomy, but really atmospheric. Like rainforests and rugged coastline. That kind of vibe. Just to set the picture.
Yeah.
Or Hawaii, picture like balmy beaches.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. We added on a couple new things. But it did teach us a lot about travel this trip.
Yes.
For multiple reasons. One is that it's very dangerous to chase like nostalgia when traveling.
Yeah.
And if you have like a really amazing place, a really amazing memory, you want to do it again because it has like such a strong tie to you. But be careful because you could like, I kind of compare it to like playing a video game, and then like you do something and then you hit like save and it, like overwrites like your previous like thing. Maybe this is a really weird example. But anyway.
Especially if you don't play video games.
Sure. Anyway,
I don't. So
your recent memory or experience might override the previous one, and since it's fresher in your memory, and it might like dampen the first one.
Yeah.
So
I think that's how it felt when we left. Like it just felt we were kind of just like bummed out with our trip.
yeah, and
But still thankful. Still happy that we were able to leave Michigan.
I hope you feel sorry for us. We went to Hawaii and we didn't have the best time ever, so feel sorry for us. Our life's terrible, but yeah, Hawaii's still great. Now I want to go back. I wouldn't say even more, but I definitely want to go back again to bring it back up.
Yeah.
But still some good memories, like Vanessa said. Saw some people that we haven't seen in a long time, which is always nice to make relationships and meet people when we travel. That's something that we've also learned is about like, relationship and community.
Yeah.
While travel.
So then once we got back, life went back to normal for a little bit.
Yeah.
We're kind of like, okay, where can we go next?
And we also had to work.
Yes.
Because we had to build up funds because we knew we wanted to travel again right before summer. Because one thing about Michigan is the winters do suck. But like anywhere else, summers can't be half bad. The summers here are pretty nice because you have the Great Lakes. A lot of people want to, like, people in Michigan, summer is like, it's like trying to get like a tickets for like a sports game. Because like as soon as like summer comes, everyone's like flying to plan like their summer to make the most out of their time.
They already have things planned the year before.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So like if you want to go camping in like northwestern Michigan, you have to book that like the year prior.
Yeah, because people are so miserable and they're like, screw this. during winter, people are like miserable from the cold. They're like, I need something to like get me through this weather, so I'm going to make sure the summer's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And the thing about Michigan too is that it's only pretty on like the northwestern side. Or like very far north.
Towards Lake Michigan in north.
We're on Lake Erie and our lake is...
Yeah. Well, there's nice lakes throughout the state, but we don't really visit them. Like some people have like lakes in the middle of the state in a random area, which is nice just to be like by the water and stuff.
Yeah.
So anyways, for that reason, we decided to not spend money on traveling to like escape during that nice time where we could do fun things outdoors with friends and family and stuff. And so we wanted to go somewhere before the summer started. And we wanted to go somewhere new because after Hawaii, we were like, Hawaii was great, but we need to make some like new memories and go to some new places.
Yeah.
And there's been one place that Vanessa and I have always wanted to visit, which we'll talk about later. But actually, there's been we're going to really break things down because we were talking about friends and traveling and meeting other people. We've always wanted to go on a trip with friends because we have friends that like to adventure. We've had friends that have like visited us when we lived in other states. We have a really good time. So it'd be cool to like go on a trip with people we know and like and like make good memories, and also, let's be real, split expenses because traveling can be very expensive, everybody. So there's one place we've always wanted to go, which is, do you know what I'm alluding to?
Iceland.
Iceland, yeah. Because we love nature, and like, this is another topic, but one thing that we've definitely noticed is start traveling, you can start to like get desensitized to things. So like we always loved like nature and seeing beautiful things outdoors. So we're always having to see like more beautiful things to be impressed. In Iceland, it's like the pinnacle of like nature apparently.
Yeah.
So we were really excited to go for that reason because we knew we would be wowed.
Yeah, but I can't even talk right now.
You're good.
Iceland, I've heard, is not a place for couples. I've heard that it's like a place for like adventure friends and groups, and because it is so expensive, and it's more enjoyable with the more people that you have. So we're like, okay.
Or if you're rich, then we can go with as a couple maybe.
I think it's still, even if you like, money wasn't an issue, I think it would be fun to go with the group.
I think so too, because you can make like a road trip out of it, driving throughout the whole country.
Right.
You can like glamp together maybe, or
So that was like the goal for us
It was.
for that trip. It was to go with friends.
It was close to coming together.
And it was just like the perfect location because it was not too far. It was like a 5-hour flight from our hometown.
So it'd be cheaper for our friends too.
Yeah.
And we could, and like a lot of our friends, like they don't have a life based around travel like we do, or like or at least they're not striving for that lifestyle. So we would just do like a 1 or 2 week trip, which some people can get off for work as a holiday. So it would have worked for everybody.
Yeah.
But it didn't. It was close to coming together, but
yeah.
I think just a lot of people at this time in your life, you know, like when you're 18 and 19, like Vanessa and I, in our 20s, a lot of people are trying to figure out what they want to do. And like people are moving, changing careers, or trying to build up their career, start a family. So some of our friends had like unexpected expenses as far as like moving on or making changes in that part of their life, which is totally understandable. So we'll scrap that maybe to our 30s, Iceland, as long as we can still walk around it and I'm not too beaten up yet.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. So our next idea was to do a big Europe backpacking trip.
Oh, yeah.
Which that didn't happen either, which that's still something I really want to do.
Yeah.
Maybe 2024, which we'll talk about our travel plans coming up soon.
I think that we waited too long for that.
Yep.
Because we were like, oh, let's go in the shoulder season, and then I don't know. It just everything was already booked.
After Iceland fell apart, we didn't have that much time to plan it.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to give our friends like some time to figure things out. But also like, hey, like what's going on?
Right.
We need to know. So we had like a month maybe, or like
a month before going. Yeah.
to like plan a big backpacking trip.
Yeah.
Which was so much work, and we started to realize it. And
it just became too much. We just wanted something a little more simpler. Simpler?
A little more simple, yeah.
Simple? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then, finally, we decided on
Greece, which was the place that we've still always wanted to go to.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons. One, like the Greek islands. Well, when we say we went to Greece, like Greece is, it's not massive, but there's lots of different places to visit. So we wanted to focus on the Cyclades, or Cyclade Islands, I think they're called. You're going to know these as like Santorini. You're going to know this as Mykonos, which we did not visit, and a bunch of other islands that are really cool. And then ultimately we went back to Athens, the capital and a good place to fly out of, and a place that I really enjoyed visiting for different reasons, which we'll talk about as we break down our trip in Athens, or in Greece in general. But that was still a lot to book though. Because
I think our trip total was 2 weeks, and we were wanting to see as many islands as possible. So, how many islands? I think we went to 5.
5 islands, yeah.
Yeah,
and then
we spent 4 nights in Athens.
3. I think 3 nights, yeah. Because we arrived from our flight and we checked in, and I think we had 2 nights.
Yeah.
So like 1 night was just checking in. But keep in mind, this was a 2 week trip, so that's 6 places in 2 weeks, which gives you an idea of how that breaks down.
Yeah.
And also, like, in addition to Hawaii, just to kind of put things in context, in 2022, our first like full year, taking the world by storm, we would go to a place for like a month minimum.
Yeah.
And this are 2 trips for 2 weeks, and we still wanted to see and do a lot.
Yeah.
So we were drastically changing the way we traveled in 2023.
I think it was kind of like a tester because for example, we went to Bali and we were in Canggu for a month. That's how long we booked our Airbnb, and at times it just felt too long. So I think we wanted, if we were able to take all the activities that we did in that month, we could easily do it all in 2 weeks.
Yeah, easily.
It was just, for Greece, we were like, okay, let's test out constantly moving for 2 weeks and see how we like it. Like, do we like fast travel or do we like slow travel more?
Yeah, and it was cool to be able to do it in this sort of way too. It was fun. It was exciting. It was a different way of traveling. We backpacked. We only brought backpacks with us.
Yeah.
So it's cool to say we backpacked. We didn't backpack across Europe, but we backpacked the Greek islands, island hopping. And we tried, well, let's just get into it, I guess. Get in the thick of things. So, we flew into Santorini, And then we took ferries across all the different islands, the islands we visited in order. Let's see if we can go like between me and you, popcorn style. Santorini, what was next?
Milos?
Yeah, Milos. And after that?
Paros?
Paros, yeah. So that's 3. Paros.
Naxos?
Naxos, so far so good.
Eos?
Eos. And that's it. Then we went back to Santorini. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 5 islands.
And then
yeah.
Athens.
And then Athens, yeah. So the most amount of nights we ever spent on one island, I think was 3.
Yeah.
And that was Milos.
Yeah.
So that's the one we were super excited for. Because
Yeah.
it's like an up and coming travel destination with beautiful like nature, which it really was.
Also, where Noah
Got in a motorbike accident and ruined the rest of the trip. No, didn't ruin
It
it.
didn't, yeah. you
I
didn't
was
ruin
just
it.
unable to swim and unable to drink alcohol. Two of the main reasons people go on vacation in Greece. So,
Yeah.
but I was still able to eat food. I still did some hikes.
Yeah.
Small hikes, and I'm still able to see some gorgeous sunsets, explore some beautiful villages. Greece flew by, and I really do want to like think about it more. And again, about the whole thing about revisiting places and the danger of doing it. But
Yeah.
I think for Greece, I do feel like we left some stuff on the table, and I like traveling somewhere and like seeing and doing a lot, but also feeling like there's more stuff I could do.
Yeah. I felt like for Greece, we just got like a little sample. Like every place that we went to, we left like, oh crap, like I wish we had more time so we could also do this and also do that. And so we just got a little sample of each island.
Yeah, and also I know this is more the case for Vanessa because we were only in places for a little bit of time. We usually try to really take advantage of our time there and like plan out the days and make sure we're doing a lot of stuff, which can quickly drain your energy,
Yeah, I was so tired.
especially in the sun.
Yeah. Noah, like he had his accident and there's a lot of things we had to cut out, but it still felt like there was a lot and I still felt so tired at the end of each day.
Yeah, for sure. Because sometimes like there's always gonna be things we left out on the table. But I'm like, oh, well, I want to do this, and
Yeah.
even if it's a little bit difficult, a little bit more time, I want to take a bus to this town, and we'll go here, hang out for a little bit, and then we'll come back here for dinner and then sunset. So it's a lot more structured.
Yeah.
Or try to be structured to not miss out on things, to take advantage of the unique things each island had to offer.
Right.
Which is still really cool. And yeah, it was cool. It was like a little sampling pack, and we started to. And what is really cool is like those Greek islands, they have a lot in common. You're gonna think of like the white, beautiful buildings. You're gonna think of like maybe like the windmills or the small little like streets in these little towns and neighborhoods. But each one did have like a different charm, or it did have a
did,
different
yeah.
charm and different things to offer. So
Yeah.
there was never an island where I'm like, this was pointless. We should have
Right.
just.
No, every island we went to, we were like, okay, I want to see more.
Yeah, but I definitely want to return to Milos. That's like,
Yeah. There's, Naxos also had like
Naxos
a
was
lot
really
of
cool.
mountains. Like I wasn't expecting the mountains to be so big.
yeah, because Naxos was the biggest of the Cyclade Islands. So you have like some really beautiful beaches, gorgeous beaches, and towns, and there's also like the mountains with the mountainy towns. We did check out both. We rented a car and were able to explore a little bit, but I think we could have done like an adventure, like where we'd like spent like a couple days driving through the mountains, staying in various amount of towns,
Yeah.
versus just one day checking out a couple towns, hiking around, and then driving back to
Right.
drop off the car essentially.
Yeah.
So, and then Athens, which we didn't talk about yet. I could talk about Greece forever because this was the only new country we visited. So this was
Yeah.
all completely new.
Yeah.
And Athens was interesting because of a few reasons. Number one, it's not necessarily the most like charming city in some ways. Do you know what I'm
It
saying?
feels, yeah, a little more,
Like Napoli in some ways.
yeah,
Gritty.
gritty, more, not as polished.
Yes.
A little more like
Quiet,
lively.
but not loud.
Oh,
No,
I was gonna say.
no, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
It's funny. You said gritty, not as polished. Like, yeah, that's gritty.
Because yeah, but polished doesn't seem like a compliment.
No, I know what you mean. Okay, fair enough. I'm joking with you. Keep on going.
But no, it's like I thought it was more lively, more
Definitely atmospheric
Yeah.
and energetic.
yeah. And it's not. I don't think it's really made for tourists.
Yes.
You know, does that make sense? Like it's more authentic.
Yeah, like there's attractions, but yeah, it's like its own city, like
Yeah.
separate from just tourism.
Yeah.
Whereas like some places like Rome's a beautiful place, but it does feel like it's a functional city, but it feels like it's more there for people to like sightsee. And like or Athens, you have the massive Acropolis in the middle of the city on this mountain, which is really cool because it's kind of like the reference point for the city. But you also have these beautiful neighborhoods with like lots of plazas with people hanging out, drinking, eating. Really cool markets that we visited as well.
Yeah.
Delicious food. I had the best baklava of my life. Another thing is I ate so much food in Greece because I was
Yeah.
trying to eat all the time, and
Yeah.
we tried a lot of new Greek foods besides just like pita, souvlaki. So anyway, if you haven't seen our episode where we talk about Greek food versus Italian food, that kind of gives us a little bit more of a perspective on the food side of things, which we don't need to get into the nitty gritty about. But yeah, that's a really cool trip.
Yeah.
But definitely wish we could have made it like into a month. Instead
Yeah.
of 2 weeks hopping on the
Easily
island.
could have been a month.
Or 3 weeks in the islands and then like 1 week in Athens.
Yeah.
Just chilling out and seeing and doing
Yeah.
things.
And yeah.
And there's more to do in Greece too, so I think we'll go back there someday. I also want to make...
There's so many other islands too that I want to check out.
Yeah, even outside of the
just-
Cyclades.
Yeah, there's just so many, but everyone says like they're all so beautiful, and when you get out of like the Cyclade ones, it's more, you're just like surrounded by more locals. And
Or you mean like outside of like Santorini and Mykonos? Yeah, because Santorini, like that's the most famous one, but Santorini is really cool, but I don't know if it was my favorite island.
it was so crazy going. So at the beginning of our trip, I think it was the end of May, and it was pretty empty. It was normal, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't crowded or anything. I can't even find the words, but you know what I mean.
It was less busy than I expected, but
Yeah.
it wasn't dead.
But then at the end of our trip, when we returned, it was like a whole new place. It was crazy.
Literally like 9 days later.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, this is
And
busy.
and that's not even the peak time. I think the peak time is
Like July, August?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was like just barely getting into June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not want to go peak time, to be honest.
Yeah, I spent my birthday in Santorini. And it was the only day it was really rainy on island.
It rained the entire day.
But I was telling Vanessa, it was kind of a nice change of pace because she felt bad because my birthday was maybe a little bit unremarkable as far as like activities and making crazy memories. But our trip was so fast paced since then. I wanted to catch up on some work and just kind of relax and take things easy and not like feel like going crazy.
Yeah.
So that was really nice.
Yeah.
And then we had a really nice dinner together at this really good vegan place.
Yeah.
So that was a great way to end our time in Santorini. And then we also hiked in the sun from Fira to Ia.
Yeah.
Which that was kind of a little overrated for us, maybe.
I think I was unprepared.
Unprepared, and also like
We should have gotten an earlier start too.
Maybe, yeah. So just really quickly to recap, because I know we don't want to spend forever in Greece.
Turn into a Greece podcast.
Yeah, I should say this. We've also done a whole 2 podcasts on our 10 days in Greece.
Yeah.
Or 10 days island hopping.
Yeah.
So if you want to see us talk more about those things specifically, again, check those out. But yeah, one of the main things people like to do that are adventurous, like me and Vanessa, rather than just sitting around and booking a luxurious hotel, which that's like probably one of the cooler things to do in Santorini.
Yeah.
Because there's some beautiful like hotels where you have your own like private hot tub and you're overlooking the caldera, where like which used to be like the center of the volcano when it like erupted thousands of years ago. Stunning views. But a lot of people hike from the 2 main towns, one being Fira, the other being Ia, which is like the super photogenic one where you see the windmills and all the people gather to see the sunsets.
The blue.
And it's very bougie. It's very bougie. It's like the epitome of like that luxury, super fancy, high class travel part of Santorini.
Yeah.
So anyways, you can do a long hike there. Probably don't recommend it unless it's like the first thing you do there. If it's the first thing you do there, it's a really cool way to take it all in once.
Watch the podcast.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
To get our opinion on it.
Yeah, I don't need to go too much into detail. So anyway,
Back to 2023
yeah,
travel.
so that was Greece. Lots to say about it. Great place. But then we were back home for the summer.
Yeah, and summertime, like we said earlier, is prime time in Michigan. So we just spent that summer, I don't know, hanging out with friends.
Yeah. Trying to make memories and have fun and take advantage of life locally.
Yeah.
Because I guess one thing about travel is it's a great way to make memories and have fun. But if you travel and like you also are home sometimes, it's important to be like present in both places and not just like live to travel. Just like people don't like you don't want to be people that live for the weekends. It's the same kind of like idea. You want to be happy like consistently. I feel like so we were trying to like actually take advantage of the summer rather than just like being completely lame, saving every single penny just to go on another trip. Because that's the point. It's like you're not even really like enjoying life while you're home or connecting with people near you.
Right. I think that was like a lesson for 2023 too. Was like it's okay to spend money on things that you will make a great memory of. Because I feel like in 2022, whenever we were back, we had to be super frugal. Just because, I wasn't working all of 2022.
Yeah.
I was just living off my savings, so of course I wanted to like save as much as possible. And then when that ran out, I was living off with Noah.
Well, we're a team.
So I think this year or 2023, I had to really be like, okay, like I'm gonna make a great memory if I just do this.
Yeah, exactly. And that was kind of nice because the fact that we were staying home between trips longer, it felt like it gave us permission to do so.
Yeah.
So if we're only staying for like a couple weeks between trips, it's like you could like, you're gonna naturally have that balance where you travel a lot, spend a lot of money, and then you get back home, you're gonna save, you're gonna work more. But this was more of like, sustainable, more consistent sort of lifestyle. So we did a lot of fun things like swimming with friends, having like little summer like bonfires or cookouts and stuff.
We went to a bonfire.
I mean, not like bonfire, but like we had friends with pools.
Yeah.
And they have like a little fire pit outside.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun to hang out, play some music, sing karaoke.
Yeah.
Go out
And holidays too.
Yeah.
So like 4th of July, Labor Day.
Yeah. Birthdays.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
to
playing
be
like
there for.
Top Golf or small little things. They're just a little bit more fun. We enjoy the outdoors and we like doing things with people that aren't necessarily just like drinking to drink, which a lot of people like doing in their 20s because it's an easy way to have fun.
Yeah.
But I don't like just going to a bar to see a friend who I haven't talked to in a long time just to like yell at each other
Right.
in a really loud place. I'd rather just hang out with me and you, or we can like, play a sport, karaoke, dancing, something fun, some sort of like activity, playing games.
Yeah.
I like those kind of activities. So we did a lot of that in the summer, which was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun.
But we had one sort of like activity that was going to like cap off the summer because this was like in October, yeah? Early October, which I guess we're in fall already. Viva Mexico!
Oh, okay. Well, so Mexico wasn't really a place that we were like, oh, we really want to go again. Well, I do want to go again.
We both did, but
we had a reason to go to Mexico, so we made a trip out of it.
Yeah, because we're clever people, and it was kind of like coincidentally or conveniently placed like a not perfect, but a really good time for us.
Oh yeah.
Because it allowed us to do summer and then kind of like chill out a little bit, work some more, save up some more money, and like she said, we made a trip out of it because. One of my childhood friends and part of our friend group, people we hung out with a lot in the summer too, they were getting married in Mexico because my friend's wife...
For the second time.
Well, their ceremony or reception. The celebration, whatever you want to call it, was in their hometown, which was Puebla, Mexico, which we've never been to before. So yeah, because my friend, he's American like me, and his wife was born and raised in Mexico, and like she's like ethnically, or her nationality was Mexican, or is because she has a green card,
so she's dual citizenship.
Or a green card, I think it means you're what, like a legal resident. It's called, not a citizen.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's Mexican. You get the idea.
Anyway.
So of course I was invited to that, and that kind of like
He wasn't only invited; he was in it.
Oh yeah, I was one of the groomsmen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That was a bridesmaid. So
that was also a big part of the year was preparing for this wedding. So we're doing like they're very like active and engaged people. So they wanted to do this like choreographed dance, which is a big part of my year was practicing that dance and getting ready to dance in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Which you guys can tell I've got the smooth moves. No, I don't. But anyway. So but anyways, so Mexico.
So anyway, we knew we had to go there. At least for a couple of days before and after the wedding. So we decided, you know what, we have to fly into Mexico City. Let's explore it first before going. And then we had some time after the wedding as well to explore Puebla. So I think the trip total was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A little over a week in Mexico City.
Was it?
I think it was like 8 days.
Sounds about right.
And the remaining days were in Puebla.
Yeah.
So we ate a lot because we love the food so much in Tulum. We're really excited to eat the food in Mexico City. What else did we do? We visited a lot. We visited some castles. I can't
No, you're right.
I'm seeing it in my brain, but it's not coming out. So castles, some pyramids. Where did we go? What was it? The place called with the water? The hot springs.
Oh man, I'm forgetting the names.
Oh no.
But okay, so let's back up a little bit. You're right. So
something grutas or something like that.
Yeah, Grutas Tolantongo.
Yeah, something
Grutas
like that.
Tolantongo. Grutas means like cave, I think. So it's like Tolantongo caves. And it's like a super picturesque area that a lot of people like to visit as a day trip from Mexico City. But be warned, it's like a 4 or 5 hour trip away. And we did an Airbnb experience just to make it easier. And we thought it'd be a good way to maybe meet some other people. And we met some of the coolest cats around. Or inside joke. They were... Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Let's just say we're not friends with anybody from that trip, even though they were fine people.
They're fine, yeah.
They're fine, just didn't really click. And that's okay. You can't click with everybody, even when you're this cool. But No, anyway. So we did Grutas Tolantongo.
When he says things like this, just ignore him.
When you hear me talk like this way, you probably think that we're the ones that are not worth being friends with, but we're...
They just didn't like his dad jokes, that's why.
Let's just freaking get ice the podcast, all right? So, yeah, we did visit Mexico City as like pretty much tourists. Like we didn't do the whole like digital nomad thing. We were there trying to take like full advantage, but we also stayed in a really cool place. And like some of my favorite memories from Mexico City was like I think it was one of our first days exploring because we were staying in this neighborhood. It's called La Condesa, and it's definitely maybe a little bit gentrified at this point. To be completely honest, but it's just gorgeous. Like there's so much greenery.
I felt like we were in a place where we weren't like surrounded by a ton of like businesses. We were like kind of hidden. It was like in a little, what was it called? It's
right in this area called Parque Mexico, and it's like it's west of this really popular gentrified neighborhood called Roma Norte, which that's like super. It almost feels like you're walking through like a city in America. It's like so westernized.
Yeah, it is.
Whereas La Condesa definitely has like that change. It's not maybe not like authentically like Mexican, but it definitely has a unique vibe, and it definitely doesn't feel as gentrified. I can't think of another word to use.
But anyway, we really enjoyed staying there.
It's beautiful.
It was really beautiful, and it was quiet.
Yeah, we rented bikes, and we biked around through La Condesa to this really pretty area and park. Definitely have to check out, called Chapultepec. And it has really good views of the city. It teaches about the history of Mexico as well. Really gorgeous park as well. So it's a must do. If I had to like recommend like maybe one place in Mexico City, that'd be like towards the top of the list.
Yeah. We loved it so much though that we were like, should we move here?
Yeah, should we move here? I think there's like so many bucket list things for us to do.
Yeah.
And I would think it'd be cool to live there for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And like try and learn Spanish because we both want to learn Spanish. The time zone's similar to America, so we can still work easier.
Right.
But I just wouldn't want to be those like tourists that like screw up the economy.
I know.
So it's like a hard thing to balance.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, Mexico City. That's somewhere I've always wanted to visit. Period. Because the food was amazing. I still think Tulum had more consistent like bangers. But as we started to eat more in Mexico City, we started to realize what we liked and the way we liked it.
I think we're ordering like the wrong things from the wrong places. We're going based off like what other people recommended instead of what like we usually like.
Yeah.
So I think once we realized that, then the food started tasting a lot better.
Yeah, no, definitely. And we also checked out like the main historic center. We could do a whole podcast on Mexico City, so we don't need to like get super into the nitty gritty, which was cool. It was more historic, but less charming than the area we were staying at, the historic center. We got lost trying to find some places, and we walked through a bunch of markets and really crazy streets, which was cool just to see like an authentic side of the city. Because Mexico City, it's massive. There's so many people. Yeah. It's hustling and bustling. And then another cool neighborhood is Coyoacan, which that's more of like the typical Mexican neighborhood. That was the one in the south we visited, where we went to that big artisan market. We bought a bunch of stuff there, and they had like the really pretty plaza. That's where I got my shirt. Remember?
Oh yeah.
And those are really that had more of like a Latin American Mexican vibe.
Yeah.
I really like that neighborhood too.
Yeah.
So we got a really nice balance of things in Mexico City, and that's definitely a place where I feel like again we could have done more.
Yeah.
And definitely eaten more too. But of course Puebla, where we actually went to for the wedding, that was like the climax because it's such a fun night.
The actual wedding?
Yeah, the actual wedding celebration.
Yeah, it really was. It was, I don't know, like a fairy tale wedding.
It was. They did a really good job.
Yeah.
And also, like, when we travel, a lot of times we try and meet people and, like, make friends. But it's so cool to be with, like, actual, like, friends that we already knew. And we can have a really fun time celebrating and taking advantage and, like, living life to the fullest.
Yeah.
In, like, a city in a different country. And it was cool because, like, there was tons of Mexican people there, of course. So we were, like, able to, like, mingle and also meet new people and celebrate with, like, friends, which, like, those are the local people. And, like, whenever we travel, it's always cool to meet, like, local people and, like, celebrate, whether we have, like, some drinks or go dancing or talk with some. So it was, like, a great atmosphere to, like, have that experience while traveling.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
Also, I spent my birthday there, too.
Yeah, she spent her birthday there, too, which was hard for her to feel special on her birthday because, one, it was another country, and two, it was during someone else's wedding. Yeah. So, of course, you're not going to be the priority among the group.
Yeah. But anyway, after that trip, we got back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we got to celebrate Halloween here.
And that was really fun.
Yeah. That's also my sister's birthday. So that was fun to be here for. It was her 21st birthday.
Yeah, and last Halloween, we were in another country. So we weren't able to celebrate with friends or really, like, get engaged and dress up to the same extent.
Yeah.
We were in Japan last year.
Yeah.
Which, that was a weird... There were some people dressed up in Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
We went out, but we didn't do anything crazy.
Right.
And actually, we were close to being in Korea, where they had that horrible incident in Itaewon, in Seoul, Korea, where that's like the foreigner kind of district, or national district, I guess you can call it. And if you don't know, there was like a massive like pileup of people. It was poorly regulated, and many people were trampled and died.
Yeah.
It was a terrible incident.
Yeah.
So if we were in Korea, we probably would have went there. Or we definitely would have went there.
went there, yeah.
Yeah,
That was the plan until Japan opened up their borders, and then we were like, you know what, this would be a great time to cut our trip short and go to Japan to avoid crowds.
Yeah.
So
because it was just opening up.
good.
Yeah, it was just an easy little change.
Actually, it was not easy. It was a pain in the butt.
Yeah, easier.
But we were
in some
really
ways.
glad that we were able to go to Japan.
For sure, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, there's Halloween, and then of course holidays, and
Yeah,
then ends.
holiday season.
Yeah. So overall, that was 2023, and we spent somehow like 40 minutes talking about, or however much time, talking about just 3 trips.
Yeah.
that we went on.
It was I don't know how to explain it really, but I felt like this is what we needed this year.
Definitely.
To like figure things out, figure out how we want travel to look in the future, figure out if we want to stay in like Michigan or our hometown.
Yeah.
Because it felt like we were forced because of the financial part.
Yeah.
But I think we actually grew to like it more than we thought, which was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some key takeaways from 2023? What are some things you've learned?
Things I've learned is I really enjoy having a community. I wish that we had a bigger one here, to be honest.
Same.
And I think that's what's missing from our travel, is that we just don't have community during that time. But at the same time, I do really love our adventures together.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, I wish we did one of these for 2022, because I could have reflected on so much in 2022. So I'm not trying to I'm only reflecting on it as like context for how I feel about 2023 and like why we did the things we did and the lessons we learned. But 2022, like while everything was sunshine and rainbows, there were some times where I don't want to use the word depressed because it's like so a little bit dramatic, but where I was like, what am I doing? Like this is not fun. This is like, especially when we're in Asia.
yeah,
Like there's so many highs, which is ridiculous. But there's also days like, because we were staying in Bali for 2 months, and not every day was like a trip, and not every day we would talk to other people or socialize or make friends. We did make some friends, but there were some days where I would just be like, all right, I'm gonna work for a little bit, and then we're gonna go out to eat, and then I go back home and just lay around, maybe go swimming, maybe watch some TV, and then I'm gonna go out to eat again.
Yeah.
And that'd be like the next 4 days of my life.
Right.
And I love, if I didn't have Vanessa, it'd be like mind-numbingly like depressing or boring. So that was great to have her, but it's like, what am I doing? I have friends at home. I have family at home. I'm not seeing them. I could like talk with them and just like, or like have these little interactions like once a week where you get together and just have a few drinks or play a few games or play like on like the local pickup soccer team and just have these like regular interactions. So that was something we were really missing in our travels. And something I was able to get back in my life, which you always have to work on and put effort into. It doesn't just come back to you. And once you travel and come back home, like some of your relationships are different anyways.
Yeah.
And some of your friendships, you feel like you don't connect with people or see eye to eye as much anymore. And it's a whole other topic for like, how to maintain healthy relationships throughout your life and community and stuff. So I know this is like a long monologue, but you get the idea. So that was something I think we both learned to appreciate more
Yeah.
in 2023.
Yeah.
And I think we also learned, while it's fun to do the fast-paced travel, that we need some balance with that too.
Yeah.
Because we're really slow in 2022. Our trip through Greece, it was a little too fast.
Yeah, I agree. But now, can we tell?
Sure. 2024.
2024.
What's in store, everybody? Because that's 2023, but this year is going to be wildly different than 2023, and I think wildly different than 2022.
Yeah.
What's first?
What's first?
Yeah, you're going to tell people.
For tomorrow. No. So in about less than 2 weeks now, we're gonna go to Asia.
Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Back to Asia.
Yeah, back to Asia.
5 countries again.
Yep. But there will be 3 new ones.
Yeah, 3 new ones. So last year we had a new one. 1 new country to our list.
Yeah.
And in 1 season we're gonna add 3 new ones to our
Yeah.
list.
And then go back to 2.
Yeah.
So. that would be very exciting. And we're kind of doing it a little different this time. We're not jam-packing the schedule, but we're definitely making it faster paced, and we're kind of traveling to multiple places in one country instead of spending a month in one spot in one country.
Because that was our 2022. All we did was we would book one, usually just one Airbnb for a month, which made it a lot easier to book things. Less of a headache, which I'm starting to appreciate a lot more now. And that would be our home base for the month. And then we would just travel to places nearby, maybe spend the odd night, double book, which is kind of a little bit of a waste of money, but it was easier to do.
Yeah.
But now we're trying to 5 days here, all right, next place. 6 days here, next place, and so on.
Yeah.
So hopefully we have the balance right this time.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be 3 months, and if we're going to be tired and worn out, we're going to have to just suck it up.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be moving.
Yeah. We really will, and we can't, we have most of it booked already, so we don't really have a choice.
Yep, and we'll talk more about this coming, because so getting back to that. So, I know. But I think it'll also be fun to talk about 2024 and what we want to get out of the year.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. For me, there's one thing that's obvious, which is I want to travel more, but I don't want travel, because before, for me, travel was the end.
Yeah.
There's you had the whole thing about means in the end, right? Did the ends justify the means? Did the end justify the means, or does the means justify the end? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So for me, it's traveling is the end. Because I was working a job I freaking hated. I felt like I was suffocating. I felt like there were so many places I wanted to see, and so much juice I wanted to squeeze out of life, as far as memories and adventure. So as long as I was traveling, I think I was accomplishing life. But now I know it's not the full picture.
Yeah.
Which is obvious. Yeah. So traveling is just one of those things that's very important to me. I would not be happy if I didn't travel at all, but I wouldn't be happy if all I did was travel.
Yeah. I think that we kind of realized the digital nomad lifestyle maybe isn't for us.
In some ways.
Yes. I feel like we have to tweak it differently. It can't be the typical, we're going to be gone for years and we're going to travel to different countries and
always
all
be
the time.
New.
And
Yeah.
I think we want more of a balance. Between, I don't know, both lifestyles.
Yeah, and if you feel the same way, let us know, because I feel like this is a common thing that's actually being discussed more with travel, and people are working to try and make more community when you travel.
Yeah.
Whether they're social groups or Facebook groups, meetup events, because community is so important. We're social creatures.
Yeah.
And that's something we definitely need in our life.
Yeah, I think the digital nomad lifestyle is really easy, or a lot easier for people who don't have a strong desire to see their family and friends all the time.
Everyone does, though, to some extent.
Or they could go a longer amount of time between seeing family and friends.
You can go longer without seeing family and friends if you make a community when you're traveling, though. Because for me, I studied abroad. No, in Japan, I did, and I was lucky because I went to university, and I had a bunch of people that pretty much took me into their friend group. So I had community, and it was so much easier to not get homesick because I had regular social interactions planned. I had people that I could talk to and connect to, not just people you meet and you ask a few questions to, and then all right, see you later. I'll add you on Instagram, and we'll keep up to date that way. No, this was an actual community.
Yeah. So
from my own experience, this is just me. It does help if you have a community wherever you're staying.
Yeah, but personally, I wouldn't want to go a year without seeing my family.
Of course, years are different.
So, but some people are fine with that. That works for them.
Yeah.
I'm just not that person.
For sure. Yeah, that's true. So anyway, that's something we definitely want to do. We want to travel more, but still have that balance.
Yeah.
And also something else that we can't go back to is we need to have our own living space for me and Vanessa.
Yeah.
It was great to have the opportunity to live with family because that can reduce costs drastically, but it did not create a healthy environment for me and Vanessa. And you don't want to feel you can't fully have your own space for yourself.
Yeah.
And when it's with family members, I'm not going to get too much into the nitty-gritty, but it creates an awkward feeling.
Yeah.
Because you can probably fill in the details in your head. 2 women live in the same house.
Stop.
That's not good. I'm kidding.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that's something else that's really important to me. And then also professional development, I think is really important too. Because the main takeaway is I just want a life where I have the freedom to choose. And that's a really privileged thing to hope for. But if you have a life where you can create your own work or your own means for creating income on your own schedule, of course you're always going to have responsibilities and obligations. But if you have like some level of control in that, you can live a lifestyle more suited to the one you want to live. So if I want to like take off time and travel with Vanessa, I can do so.
Yeah.
Or I can spend time with her, and I can balance my life the way I need to. Whereas if you have like a job for a company, you kind of have to negotiate with them like time off, and it can just be a big headache. So that's like a big goal, is I want to continue to develop to just live a lifestyle that allows me to balance it the way I want to balance it.
Yeah.
So subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yeah, anything else? Any takeaways or plans for 2024?
After this trip, I don't really know what life will look like for us. I think it depends on how our Asia trip goes.
Yeah, can I be really honest?
Sure.
We're both nervous
Yeah.
and a little anxious.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think this trip, even more so than just like, there's some place, we'll tell all about this trip later and like kind of walk you through our adventures and experiences in real time as we go to each destination. So I don't want to spoil the places we're going yet. But we're definitely, I'll tell you the first one. At the end of the episode, just to get you guys thinking.
There is a podcast where we share like where we want to travel to.
Yeah, of course.
Like our bucket list travel places. Maybe it's one of those ones on there.
Maybe. You'll have to see, we'll just see at the end. But, so anyways, there's some places we're really excited to go just to see. But I'm just like really intrigued to see like how we've changed and grown as people and like our experience traveling.
Yeah.
Are we going to be still enthusiastic? Are we still going to be like worn out? Are we still going to be like invigorated or excited? Are we going to be worn out by the fast-paced travel? Are we going to, you know what I mean? Are we going to be a lot of people and enjoy that aspect of it?
Yeah.
So I'm really excited just to see like how we've changed and how we can appreciate travel and how we go forward, because I think we're going to learn a lot from this trip too.
Yeah, I think so.
So
I think we are I can't talk. Gonna be more like aware of certain things too.
Definitely.
Like we know that we like community. We know we like making new friends. So I think we're gonna try to make that more of a goal.
Yeah.
Where in the past I would be like, oh, I'm scared.
Or adventure and getting off the beaten path too. We know
Yeah.
we like that too,
Yeah.
the authentic experiences. So you'll have to stay tuned for those, everybody. Coming up with our first country we're going to visit, which is...
Wait, huh?
Where are we going? First country.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Thailand! Wow, look at you. Alright, see you in the next one.
Funny, but I couldn't think of it.
Alright, see you guys in the next video. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
Peace!